pretty close maps involved in those matches, and so it's great to see. And what I think we really have to dive a little bit more into as we get ready for this pistol is that we have Corey on Skye.
Yes, sir. Yes,
This
sir.
is only his third time playing Skye in an official match. In the other two instances, it was the Challengers 1 Open qualifier, and it was against much lesser-known teams. So this is his first time breaking out the Skye in a big matchup like this, and honestly, it kind of just falls more in line with the meta that we've been seeing a lot of other teams go for.
Yeah, it makes sense, too, when you think back to when FaZe had last played this map in an official event. It was versus 100 Thieves, and they were struggling on the attack pretty darn heavily, although, to be fair, both teams were kind of struggling on the offense. So we'll see if maybe this little bit of an agent swap-up will cause some hopeful kind of alleviations of those problems. But already off the bat, you've got Rise pretty heavily stacked up over towards A, and it's Baby J who's going to try to feel things out first.
Yeah, absolutely. Baby J poking and prodding here with the Killjoy over towards A main, just trying to get a tab on things. The rest of the team, though, is looking to gather up at B main. You see a much different Viper wall placed by Superman over on the B side of the map. Typically, you just see that right in the archway, but he's kind of using his orb for that. And he's using that wall on that left lane. Try to maybe set up the retake. He's getting taken down by Baby Bay. A huge opening pick there with the Sheriff, and now we're going to see FaZe throw their own wall down to block off that link and defender spawn and help them entrench this site. They're going to have a 5-on-4. This is going to be a very tough retake now for Rise, with so much vision being blocked on their way back in.
And I love the kind of maybe borderline greedy play for the Sheriff, just for maybe to have a little bit more long-range pressure off the pistol round. Here come the flashes and smokes. Also with that, the recon dart not going to find too much. Baby Bay finding his second. Toxic screen also still down. This is the offensive one. Baby Bay may be good for a third. Finds it now. How about the fourth? Maybe to start things off with an ace. Are you kidding? 18 HP. Shanks has moved himself kind of back over through the alleyway, and explosives will pop through for Baby Bay. Looking for the ace. Doesn't check his left. The trade will be there. And FaZe start us off with a pistol win.
Yeah, an absolute bang, a double-edged sword to get that entry on the opposing Viper on B site. Not only does it give them main advantage and site control, but it also takes away that Viper wall that could have been useful for Rise on the retake onto the B site, which they were clearly playing for, as you could tell by their defensive setup early in the round. Really nice trading there from Baby Bay in particular with the quad kill. Baby Bay is such an X factor for this FaZe team, that tip of the spear, that fearless entry, and so to get him popping that early on in the game is certainly a great news for FaZe. And so a nice start here as we are going to have a bit of a pause. I think it's just a little bit of a time to kind of chat about some things. Again, because it's been quite a while since both these teams have stepped onto a server. You know, a lot of their previous matches date all the way back to August. These are the two teams that never got to play their initial match in the upper bracket for the LCQ. So, you know, there's been a lot of time for these teams to kind of look around, see what's been going on throughout the scene as far as meta, as far as results, and kind of get a feel for where they stand and what they need to work on. And obviously they've probably been able to put a lot of practice in, and you're already seeing that pivot with Corey making this move over to Skye after having previously played a lot of Yoru on this map. And then for Rise, you know, this is only their third match on Breeze, and their first game they got absolutely battered by Sentinels, and they were doing so because they were trying not to play a Sova. They actually had Derek on a Sage, but you've seen them go back to Derek on the Sova, and everybody else has kind of fallen in line with what you'd expect based on their past. And I think the other big thing you're seeing is there's been kind of a debate about whether or not to play Viper as your solo controller on this map, or whether or not to throw in an Omen or an Astra to kind of be that secondary controller. And you see both teams electing to go with that single controller with Viper.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the Viper come into favor. I think you can credit Nats, I think, at Berlin for really kind of showcasing the ceiling, maybe to say, for what the agent has to offer. But Baby J gonna get a read here on Rise's aggression to the middle. The Guiding Light will provide at least some sort of a deterrence. And with that flash, you thought maybe it was gonna be a free kill, but not the case. Help has arrived. A 3-for-1 trade, and FaZe find themselves with the numbers and a free B site.
Yeah, you can't really blame Rise for rolling the dice on an eco-type round like this with some mid-aggression, but Baby Bay and company able to be those reinforcements that were required to fend off that push from Rise. Gets FaZe to 2-0, sets them up for the hot start. Now coming into their bonus round here, they'll keep the Spectres and the fellow weapons around it. I think if they could have got this pick on Baby J maybe a bit faster, they could have shifted that focus back over to Baby Bay, who was hopping over the wall here with the Sheriff, but it just took a little too long to get Baby J off the board, and it freed up the rest of FaZe to come in and reinforce to fend off that mid control, but now we have the full buy from Rise. We got an op, though, out for Baby Bay already.
Yeah.
Shit, that's not the full-on bonus.
Yeah, this is going to be something that I think for FaZe, you're really going to be happy about getting this extra bit of long-range pressure early. Again, early 1v1. Shank's trying to play aggressively. That's going to be an instant upgrade from an SMG over to the rifle, and with that, Baby J looking for an early plant. But information starting to come through from all of the tools from Raucus. Not really able to follow up with at least an elimination, but it does provide vacancy to get the spike down, and that will be enough to now set up a post-plant hold.
Yeah, it kind of stalled out the plant for a bit and bought a little bit more time for this rotation, as we are going to see that wall go back up, though that allows FaZe to get back into safety. They're all kind of playing from long A, except for Baby Bay with the op way out in middle. I want to see what kind of factor he's going to be able to play here.
He's way out of the picture right now, so honestly, for Rise, this retake looking even strength. Maybe even a little bit more now favor, but here's the angle that Baby Bay wants, trying to make sure that everything stays safe, but the spike is not necessarily planted for him, but it doesn't make much of a difference. Raucus for 2, and then the third. Blindly through the poison cloud, no problem, and Rise still find themselves empty as FaZe take a huge advantage early.
You definitely got to look at what they were trying to go there with Baby Bay's position with the operator out in middle. Had good vision here, but the problem is he could not spot the diffuser, so maybe you're going to have to tinker around that spike placement just a little bit. But you could definitely tell that could be a very clutch position to play from in the future, as long as his team can hold on long enough for him to slot into that position, and as long as he can get a better angle on that diffuser. Definitely something to look out for, as we are going to see now a tough buy here from Rise on the triple Marshall.
Early pressure from Rise still right at the front door of Cave. If you think back to when FaZe and 100 Thieves were playing this map, Baby J was dominating this area, both offensively and defensively. He's continued to throw his weight around the rink very early on. Zachary takes care of the sentry turret, and Rise's aggressive defensive setup has been read by FaZe, and they are going to pay some respect to this regrowth and then rotate.
Yeah, it's a good thought here, just throwing a bit of a feint, putting that Viper utility at A, forcing their respect as they use that to get a little bit of mid control here with Baby J, who has kind of slid up to undershoot position. With that said, though, Rise have kind of read this. They're starting to rotate. They have 3 players on B site already. They're also rotated nearer to A halls to have an even quicker rotation with the remaining 2 to get over to B side if need be. Baby J could cut that off, and that's a big entry from Baby Bay to help start penetrating this B side. There's still 2 defenders left.
Yeah, these defenders have pistols only. Seeker's actually going to be called out. Neptune makes good for 1. The trade is there. Baby Bay finding his second. A couple of tags come through the connector, but does not really amount in too much. And with that, it's just extra information for Baby J to follow up, find a free kill through the middle of the map. Baby Bay, though, denied by Poised, who actually finds 2. Can he pick up a weapon? He's given the space. Ooh. Corey's backing down, who's only got 5 HP. This is a very even 2v2.
Yeah, luckily, though, Baby J has maintained middle this entire time, so it's giving a route for Corey to get out of there and pivot that spike back over to A site. And so they will be able to get the plant, but yeah, it's going to be a tougher post-plant fall because, as you said, Corey's on 5 HP, no way to self-heal, obviously. And now Derek's picked up an op. Poise has the Vandal. They're fully healthy, and they still have a little bit of utility left here on Poise to maybe work with.
Lockdown has been earned with the plant. Maybe an opportunity if FaZe start to feel pressure just to gain more time on the clock to stop this post plant. Here comes the recon bolt in. Poise going to be the first one forward. Derek watching long. And there it is. Attacking lockdown will be spent. You've got to go now if you're Rise. Otherwise, you're not going to have time to back up and then come back to this. And the lockdown does get destroyed. And oh my goodness, the trade is going to be there. Baby J, though, over the top finds his Killjoy counterpart. Poise was never really sure where he was positioned. And with that, FaZe survive, if only marginally, through the 4th round.
Yeah, pretty scary round considering what Rise were working with. And also with that lockdown getting shut down so quickly, we're starting to think maybe, just maybe, Rise were going to be able to pull one over, but not quite. FaZe will instead find their 4th, and this is big news for FaZe. In their 4 games that they've played on Breeze, it's been their defense that has carried them through at a 60% win rate. Their attack, only 41% of those rounds go on their way, yet they're already up 4-0, and they have shut down 2 of Rise's players to 0 kills. 2 key players, I might add.
Even for Rise, you talk about the defensive victories that they've had. That's really what got them the win over TSM last they played. Exactly. When they played Sentinels, they found nothing on offense, just a single round to speak of. They didn't even get a chance to play defense. So, yeah, I think when you go back to what the analyst desk was saying about the map selections, this almost feels like Rise has to come out and steal FaZe's map pick because Ascent isn't exactly a playground for Rise either.
Yeah, I think Rise knew that they were kind of in a bind between whether or not to let Icebox or Breeze through. They knew either one was going to be a weak point against FaZe. And they're starting to kind of feel that now as FaZe have jumped up to a hot start. Big op pick again from Baby Bay. He has been relentless with this operator. He's had it for quite some time, and he has yet to falter, really. It's another big opening pick, and that's really what's been fueling FaZe. They keep finding these opening exchanges, and it's making everything so much easier when they get that advantage so early in the round.
Flash comes through. That looked like maybe an opportunity to even things up, but Neptune could not quite lock down the angle. Does force out the blades, though, so that is part of the picture, and honestly, that actually just may allow FaZe to snowball in towards this A side. The only defender here is Supa.
Yeah, and they already had their Viper wall placed here at A side, so they're able to go ahead and throw that up immediately. Superman trying to play behind it, trying to throw his own utility down to slow this attack down, but Baby Bay is not having it. Coming over with the daggers, finds his second. Baby J cleans up Superman, and this is probably it.
Defensively, Neptune, one more flash. Okay. Nothing to happen there whatsoever. Just gets instantly deleted. And my goodness, Baby Bay has come out as an absolute force early in this LCQ restart for day 2. I mean, he's done it with the op. You saw him do it with the Sheriff in the opening, and now also with the Blades. Poised has no choice but to back away and try to save.
Well, I can tell you this, man. The FaZe clan are certainly hoping that their stocks, when they hit the NASDAQ in the first quarter of next year, that they're going to be seeing the stocks rise. But what we can confirm right here on the first day of this event is that Baby Bay's stocks are at an all-time high. He's smeeking it out.
Unbelievable. And it's just, you know, the fact that you're getting so much trust into Baby Bay's corner as well. I mean, we heard all the different kind of content pieces about FaZe and talking about the trust that they have for one another, but for Baby Bay to come out with, I think for some people would still say, hey, it's a little bit of a greedy pie going straight into a Sheriff off the pistol, but he makes use of it for 4. Then the Operator round 3 has been great since he picked it up. What all could you ask of him beyond that?
I hate to do this, but sometimes you just have to do a little bit of a reality check here, Shift. And the bottom line is that Rise has a combined 8 frags in the 5 rounds we've played so far. Yeah. Baby Bay has 11 by himself.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that one out there. That's
not good math if you're a Rise fan. Not good.
No, the math does not check out in their favor on that one, I believe.
I mean, so the question really now has to go down to, you can't just go off of this defensive round any longer. Like, you've got to put something together here if you're Rise. And the only bit of good news was the fact that the last time you were put in economical distraught was you still got it to a 2v2. Do you take anything away from that, or are you trying to change things up dramatically considering you still looking at a goose egg on the scoreboard?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I'd like to see them be a little bit more proactive out in middle. I think it would allow them to get a little bit of intel, maybe try to disrupt FaZe a little bit, who constantly are using middle in the mid to late round to make these side transitions, and they're doing so very safely without really any fear, right? Normally when a team is gathered up on one side of the map, the one advantage you might be able to levy defensively is, hey, they haven't had any presence here for so long. They don't know where we are. We could be playing up front. They're going to have to take a little bit more time to clear their way back onto the opposing side of the map. Well, Rise aren't really challenging them in those ways. They're just kind of sitting back, and it's just giving FaZe so much free space. And I also think that they need to find a way to start winning these opening exchanges. How many opening picks have we seen Baby Bay get? And that just allows FaZe to steamroll. We know how aggressive of a team FaZe is, how oppressive they like to be. And that just fuels their playstyle, and they're able to keep getting these opening picks.
Well, you look at just the utility that was purchased or maybe not purchased here for Rise. They have no utility gathering abilities really whatsoever, outside of the one guiding light that's no longer part of the picture because Neptune's already dead. I mean, whoa. It's one of those things that you go back to what they were doing in the last eco situation they were in. At least they were finding good intel. This time it's complete blindness, and yeah, you're hoping that Shanks can do something with the knives, but Baby Bay is not interested in whatsoever having that conversation. Derek, long range, nice try, says Baby Bay, and it's all down to Poise once more, who continues to find himself way on the outside just with an SMG.
I feel like Baby Bay has had a multi-frag round almost every round so far. When he had the quad kill on pistol, this is a triple kill on this round. You look at the other 3 rounds, I'm pretty sure he had a couple of doubles in the mix. Finally silenced by Poise here, trying to pick up that Vandal, see if he can maybe hold on to it, but obviously everyone on FaZe in pursuit. They have so much economy, they can afford to chase however much they want. And another round where they barely lose anything, just one player lost there. And I mean, Baby Bay is on one right now.
Yeah. I mean, both the babies, 14-3, 6-1. I mean, there's not a bad stat line anywhere on FaZe Clan at the moment, and you would, I think, anticipate that having a 6-0 value. And it's just the thing that they're doing it on offense. And I hate to put this out there in the universe so soon, Dust, but this round right here, you have to feel there's a must-win for Rise.
I do, yeah, just for momentum's sake, just to feel alive. Feel like you're in this game, you know? Feel like you're getting off the starting blocks. As we are going to see FaZe yet again looking to challenge early here on the long A side of the map, and then again, Baby J patrolling that middle. At least they're getting early intel at Shanks' position at elbow at the operator.
While Drone Trailblazer comes through, they're still trying to find a way to get Baby Bay a first blood. I think they know Superman's on the site, but he can't lock it down. Super does find first blood. First numbers advantage we've seen yet for Rise, and they'll continue to build that forward as Shanks takes down Baby J. Your two top fraggers now for FaZe are out, and with the Viper's Pit down, FaZe are going to have to reassess what they want to do in the 3v5.
Yeah, good Seekers as well. Comes out of Neptune, gets them the read that there's still presence Cave and A Halls. Plus they have the 2-man advantage. They have not had an advantage like this in really the whole half, so this is something they really need to capitalize on. You have to feel a Zachary trying to use his orb to make his way into a deeper A Halls position, try to see if they can unlock an added route to this A site we haven't really seen used before. Derek has a good read of it though, gets a little bit of chip damage off there, trying to fend FaZe off a bit, who are now having to backpedal. They're running out of time as well. Spike and everyone still maintaining a hope of cracking open this A side as Zachary trying to lead the way from the doors, but he is getting eaten alive by shock darts.
Corey's here too, but this just feels like they're trying to open up space to try to get into this site with an odd man situation. Neptune will make sure the double still comes out, meaning that Raucus's position is very much so well known by Rise. It won't be a flawless on the cards, but hey, only losing one is not bad at all. That's exactly what the doctor ordered to try to remedy this current situation for Rise.
Yeah, absolutely. Really well done. Finally getting something on the board here. It kind of just starts with just being able to fend off those initial players over on that long A position. Then Neptune cleaning up from pyramids when FaZe tries to crack open from the A halls. That is job well done. Finally now everyone on the board as well. The only issue is they burnt 2 ults there to get that done. They do still have lockdown available, however. And so we'll have to see, as FaZe, of course, has their own Viper's Pit ready to put into play on this potential A-take, as well as Seeker. So they have their own utility to put forward.
Once again, positioning pretty aggressive here, but there's the Seekers plus the Drone. No chance for Super to get away. So now it's down to Neptune to try to lock things up for Rise defensively. Trailblazer out, not really able to see too much of anything, and Baby Bay has already snuck through the backside of these pyramids outside the site, so maybe an opportunity, but Neptune gets caught. Guiding Light comes through, finds one, wants the second, but it's the Hunter's Fury that's able to take down Baby Bay. The Spike Carrier dropped. Shanks not able to convert on the Baby J, but the trade will be there from Poise, leaving Raucus in what would be a 1v3, now made easier with a 1v2, but he doesn't really have a lot to play with outside of really just his positioning, which is really not much to speak of, and Neptune crosses from right to left, finds the angle, and Rise go back-to-back.
Yeah, we're seeing Rise now win a couple of rounds in a row, starting to find their footing here. Derek starting to come alive. He was at 0 and whatever for quite some time. Now he's up to 3 kills. Great Hunter's Fury hero, building off the info of Neptune to kind of fend off this pyramid front line. And so Rise may have finally figured something out here. They also burnt a couple of FaZe's ults on that round, so that's a little bit less utility FaZe are going to be coming in with here, but they still, of course, have plenty of economy to get weapons for. They have Baby Base still on that operator. FaZe will take the timeout. Not a bad time to do so. You're starting to see that Rise are putting up some resistance. It's no longer you having your way with the map. Now maybe they need to start considering how they want to pivot. We do see a defensive pivot, though, I must say. Viper coming off B side. You see a lot of teams utilizing that agent as basically a B side anchor. They're now putting that utility over towards A, and they're going to put a lot more trust on the Killjoy to try to defend that B position with Baby J. They also have Shanks there with the operator, maybe looking for an opening pick. And while FaZe are looking like they want to challenge that position, so we could very well see an op-v-op duel at some point here on this B side of the map to kick this round off, just based on how people are positioning.
Yeah, and hey, well, I think that's a pretty fair expectation too, just off the simple fact that every time that we've seen a play towards B offensively from FaZe, it's been Baby Bay with a long open peak. So yeah, it's looking like that very well may be the case, as both Jets are kind of posturing on these barrier orbs and walls kind of over towards that left side of the map. It does feel a little bit puzzling, I think, just to a certain occasion, though, when you look at FaZe. You know, we saw them kind of running through the middle of the map. We haven't seen much movement at all through the middle portion of this map whatsoever in the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, it's something I feel like Rise could really start taking advantage of. You know, Baby J has kind of been able to just control this area and keep it unlocked for FaZe to make those transitions, and he's able to cut off rotations. And he's doing so yet again, making his way up to Pillar. Corey clearing out elbow position there with the Trailblazer. So They're able to get some mid control. We do see, though, Derek putting the owl drone out and making sure no one's taking elbow position, has got the tabs on Baby J's position at pillar. Ops goes silent on the B side of the map. No one really over-committing to an angle there, so all is quiet on that front. As we now see FaZe repositioning over towards long A again. Viper Wall is going to be there to kind of make it tough to crack that open. Neptune there as well.
Man.
They have a good defense in place on this A side. But FaZe going to see if they can't get a little bit of space here.
Oh, good read here from Raucus. Sees one, that's Neptune. The tag will also actually be there, so Neptune's going to be in a world of hurt here. Good flash will come through, but Corey still through the toxic screen, able to find first blood. Baby J rotating from mid. That's a free angle onto Supa. And you have to keep in mind what we saw from Baby Bay the first round. He had the operator. He's going to continue to play through that mid elbow.
Yep.
Watching for the plant, and look at the adjustment on the spike plant. It is closer. Now you can clutch watch from that spot mid.
I'm glad you pointed that out. That was something that almost hurt them previously, but now they have it in an angle that Baby J can easily cover with Baby Bay, as they're both going to be towards mid-side. Plus, FaZe has man advantage. It's going to be so tough on Rise to try to get this defuse off.
Have to find a pick sooner rather than later if you're Rise, but nothing comes their way. Baby Bay making his position now known, but doesn't even need to be used. 3 kills for Baby J. Shank's last one, just with the operator. It's just too many FaZe members to deal with. 4 kills in the round for Baby J, and FaZe, just before they're about to consider their economy, steals away around, and now up 7-2.
Something has to change defensively for Rise on this middle portion of the map. FaZe, again, I feel like I'm kind of just repeating myself, but they're dominating that portion of the map, and it's just, again, setting them up for post plants. It's setting them up to transition after they feint, and they want to double back to the opposing site. It's allowing them to very easily cut off rotations and get reads on the defensive moves, and it's just causing them to dominate this half right now. They're up 7-2, and economy, once again, a little bit low for Rise. They're having to go Spectre on one of their players here just to get weapons forward.
And Bulldog as well. I mean, it's definitely dire and desperate times at the moment. Lockdown comes through. Baby Bay wide peak, finds the headshot, and now here opens the floodgates. FaZe on the way forward. Baby J playing up top in vents, not able to find Derek, who is actually going to be able to lock down the lockdown.
Spike planted.
And that does at least allow an opportunity for the defense to maybe look for exits as soon as the spike is planted, but once again, it's Zachary's wall that comes out, allowing some reprieve.
Poise does have defensive lockdown as well. If they can get into a good position, they might be able to help use that to get this retake. The Baby Bay, again, teeing off with this operator, already silencing Derek. There's another onto Neptune, and things are fading fast. But here comes defensive lockdown. Can it get them back in this? But what a great lineup from Zach to put on the spike.
Kills so much time, but the defense knows that they've got a little bit of freedom before they have to check. Second snakebite comes out. Big shout out to the ops team for catching it every time. Zach also finds Poise. Superman giving it a go, but not much to be found there. Rise go down 2-8 from the heavily favored side, at least what we've seen in North America over the course of stage 3. Not a great look here so far through the first half. 2 to play.
Yeah, this is probably the best attacking side FaZe has yet to have on Breeze. I mean, when you look at the wins they got over Luminosity and Immortals, it was really based on getting kind of the bare minimum on the attack, you know, maybe like 6 to 7 rounds, and then just getting that really stout defense. And their attack is something they often struggled with against TSM and 100 Thieves thereafter when they lost them after the last couple times they have played it. So to see them come out here with 8 already, and really there's no indication they're not going to get more, especially with an eco here from Rise.
Oh, what a good guiding light off the elbow. That's a free 2-piece for Baby Bay. Nearly gets a look at Derek for a third. Zach also information off the snake bite right in the corner. Flushes out one, finds the easy pick. No problem for Corey to follow up, and it's flawless from FaZe. Barely any health shed whatsoever. I mean, not a round that you would expect Rise to do too much in, but you were hoping maybe for at least an elimination or 2 to root for.
Here, there's one thing I want to point out in this Flawless. Look at the layering of the utility. Like you pointed out, amazing guiding light to get Baby Bay a free duel there, essentially, on the Shank. But watch how they absolutely crush Neptune on this wall. Snakebite. Oh, you're going to avoid that? Trailblazer. Eat that one. And it's just, you know, aggression, yes, from FaZe, but what needs to be pointed out, it's not just as simple as holding W. The way that they're using this utility to play that aggressive style, to supplement the philosophy that they have on the game, has been beautiful to watch this match.
It's just like Baby said in his content piece, you know, it's the sophisticated speak. It's not just forehead dashing in, and maybe a bit of frustration starting to amount as Rise kind of hit the W key hard. Great click from Baby just over the top of Shanks' head. Neptune there for the trade, and Supa actually cleans up the front door of B. So with that double, it actually means that there's, again, for maybe the second time only so far in this half, Rise have a numbers advantage 3v2.
But not on this side of the map. It's even numbers, but Corey not checking, able to cough one over. That's Derek getting a big kill, leaving Raucus alone. A guy who's kind of often underrated in clutch situations. I feel like he's usually a good decision maker when he's kind of up against the ropes like this, but still a tall task when it's 1 versus 3 and there's a Viper's Pit in play for Superman if it is required. He will get the plant. Sure, he's got Hunter's Fury, but it's going to be hard to get in a spot where he's protected enough to actually get that Hunter's Fury off and get the impact out of it, and now he's getting blipped by the recon.
Shotguard also will connect as the Guiding Light came through. Snakebite flushing him through. Raucus, no chance there. So Rise will find a third round. But man, there's a little bit of salt and sourness coming out of my mouth there, even saying that from the defensive side. They'll have to prepare themselves for their offense. It's going to have to be something immaculate from Rise. They'll prepare. We will do the same. We'll step away and come back in the second half right after this. A lopsided affair so far as FaZe Clan absolutely come out the gates hot. From the attacking half, they find 9, a number of flawlesses, and Rise now needing to recuperate. My whole shift with me, Dust, and, well, Dust, I mean, at this point, you have to come out and win this pistol if you're Rise.
Yeah, this is a kind of do-or-die situation at this point. If you're unable to get it, FaZe basically get to 11 for free. You're going to have to start forcing yourself to buy earlier than you maybe want, just to try to stop FaZe from jumping the map point very quickly. So a lot of weight on their shoulders to convert this pistol. Pistols are always important, that's for certain. But when the score is this separated, it exponentially increases the value. And so we'll see what Rise can do here on the attack.
Seem like they want to kind of spread the field just a touch, but you talked about how FaZe Clan have been so good about putting pressure to the middle of the map. Take a look at the defensive numbers that are already making their way not just up the mid, but even controlling the majority of this elbow play. This is unreal.
It is. That Trailblazer will spot Baby Bay, sure, but that's only half the battle as he just sneaks over on the top wall and gets the Sheriff pick there on the Superman. Corey going to be able to assist him here for the opposing side. Neptune, though, breaking through, finding Zachary out in the middle, so we are seeing Rise fight back.
Yeah, and a big 1v1 happening up top in the vents actually opens up all of the A site. And also defensively kind of causes a bit of an obstacle here because you just don't know, has Shanks actually pushed through into our spawn? Is he still lingering up top and mid? He actually chose the third door, which is let me just stack up with my teammates while we plant.
Yeah, this is tough because now Raucus has to even just clear out his spawn and A halls just to get in a comfortable spot to assist this retake because they don't all want to have to funnel through doors. But Baby Bay spotting the opposing jet of Shanks out here outside the case. Derek going to come over to assist. Almost lines up for Baby Bay, but a big kill for Shanks.
Corey, though, is also still here, lurking behind the play. Raucus trying to deal with the sentry turret. Difficult 1v1 there, apparently. And Corey, that's going to be a free one, but can he find more behind this? That's the big question. Yes, he can. A single tap onto Poise does the trick, and it's just down to Shanks. Corey's got the beat on him, but where's the help? It's got to come through. You've got to try to stick for the defuse. Shanks wins the first. Raucus trying to hold. Gets it to halfway, but Shanks will tally his fourth. A Red Bull clutch for Rise as they take the must-win pistol.
It was a labored victory, but Rise find it nonetheless. What a brilliant series of events there for Rise. They were able to kind of fend off Baby Bay and his impact at middle. This is a big clutch. You know, I would have liked to have seen Raucus just double up with Corey here before touching this spike. Maybe they were just running out of time. They felt like they needed to get to half, but I think if they could have 2v1 that shot position, they would have had a much better chance to maybe pull off a last-second defuse. Instead, they kind of gave him some 1v1s and gave him a way back into the round, and boy, was that a much-needed round for Rise.
Now, if you remember back to when we even just mentioned it a moment ago, Baby J so aggressive in through this cave system defensively. Did it versus 100 Thieves, looking to do it again here versus Rise, but it's Baby Bay to fall first. Baby J falls second. Now it's just down to Corey to hold the front door, and hold it has he. Finds himself a double. Free weapon, by the way, and with that, Neptune forced to get the trade, and there will be an opportunity for Rise to get a plant.
Yeah, they're going to have a 3-on-2. They had the superior firepower. They've cleared outdoor position. They have their Viper wall deep over towards defensive spawn. They have A-Hall's control. Kind of at least kept tabs on as Raucus comes through. They have Superman and company kind of preparing for this potential. And it's just classics anyway, so Rise should be finding a fifth here.
Zach already tagged up from the side double doors. Superman gonna make sure he checks to see what's going on over here, and as he does, he finds the intruder. Raucus falls. Zach just backing away. I don't know if he thinks he's got an opportunity maybe to get some exit kills. Seems to be that way as he makes his way over towards spawn, and 2 culprits remain for Rise on this post plant, but nothing will occur here as Neptune finds the headshot, and Rise take the expected second.
Yeah, it's hard to know where Rise's attacking half is going to go from here. Obviously, only 1 round against Sentinels in their first official game on Breeze, but had a pretty successful attack over on TSM in the Challengers playoffs for this stage, and that's part of the way they were able to get the circuit points they needed to get one over on them to find their way in this LCQ. So we know that they have the potential, and this is essentially the same composition they were using in that match against TSM as opposed to the one against Sentinels where they were fielding a Sage on Derek instead of the Sova, and I believe they had Poise on Cypher instead of Killjoy. So they changed their comp up, and they had a big win over TSM, and we'll see if they can kind of keep that up here.
Early guiding light, early Owl Drone, all of this as a means to get Baby Bay forward, and forward he goes, but Superman ready for it, finds the easy kill. Poise still locking things down with the Sheriff, takes down Corey's trade, and with that 4v2, Rise once again, vacancy at A for a free plant.
Big to catch Baby Bay there. Baby Bay, you know, wanting to chase down after that blip of the recon, but gets punished for it. We're already seeing, you know, a big difference in defensive philosophy. You know, FaZe are looking to fight middle, and they're looking to do it every round. And Baby Bay is one of those Jets that really loves to use elevation changes. He's really known for that on the attack, you know, dashing up on top of things, using that elevation change to try to catch people off guard. You're seeing him do it defensively at middle that round, but does get caught by Rise. And so they're starting to get their feet underneath them here. They're about to get their 6th round. Economy's about to be pretty low for FaZe. The chance to really close the gap on the scoreboard and maybe at least stay in contest on this map. I think for a moment there, it was starting to feel like a foregone conclusion that FaZe were going to collect Breeze, but now, as these rounds start to come to pass, Rise starting to build a little bit of a foundation, but can they launch from it? That is the next question.
Difficult decisions coming through right there. Rise, after knowing exactly where Raucus was positioned, sent all 4 members to go chase down to make sure no rifles would withstand the round, but they'd end up losing 2, so the economic snowball has at least been put on pause just a touch for a couple of players. Of course, naturally, the money is fine, and with that, Rise will still for purchase, whereas for FaZe, the good news was you were able to give rifles over to Zach and Baby Bay into this next round.
I do have Seekers available as well onto Corey. So that could help them out a little bit. Turret already taken down. Baby J looking to the aggressive over towards shot position. Now Baby Bay joining him. It's the Baby Square defensive combo here. Trying to get something done, and there it is, the headshot from Baby Bay onto Derek, man advantage gain. Now, do they want to press and try to get Baby J a weapon off the back of that? It seems like that's the thought, as you see Baby J creep a bit forward, and Baby J holding his fallback on the shot.
Shanks has also lost his dash, so there's that extra bit of mobility taken off the table, and the Baby Squared over here is flawless so far. Baby Bay still continue to push forward. That's his third. Supa on the backside of Cave Steps will finally take down the Juggernaut, which so far has been determined to be just Baby Bay pretty much full on out, but this will be a 1v4, and more FaZe members will continue to lurk. Corey just kind of throwing shoulders with a pistol, gets the information, guiding light right over the top of his head. Supa a chance to find the kill to the pistol, finds one. Opportunity to back away and reload. Snakebite will gain him some space, and then escaping with some nimble, he can rotate right on in.
30 seconds left.
Wow.
Or to cover his tracks as he will make his way over for the plant. Maybe linger around for a kill so he can catch a rotator. Does spot both of them. Gets a little bit of damage off, but takes some himself. He's the one worse for wear as it goes into this. Now he can't get over to a plant position. He's going to try to plant for himself to go back towards window, or at least fake it. He does have Viper's Pit now as well. There is a hope for Superman to clutch, but look how quickly he abandons it.
Yeah.
But it's going to take time for them to notice, and this could be such a big long con shift.
Rock has had so much utility to clear out this Viper's Pit. He's going to jump back to the middle, but Superman finds the third. A 1v4, now a 1v1. But on the spike, Zach going to hold it to halfway, then back away. 1 HP off the decay, but Zach able to come back through, find the kill, and make sure that there was no hijinks or hilarity there. But my goodness, did Supa ever get a good look at a 1v4?
That was a roller coaster ride of a round, man. It looked like FaZe had that one signed, sealed, and delivered with the Baby Squared combo over at 8K. It's just the ability for Baby J and Baby Bay to work together to get those kills and really put a stop to Rise early on them trying to make that press on that side of the map. It forces Superman into a tough 1 versus 3 clutch. Now, he played it almost to perfection as far as his decision-making. I love the idea of dropping the pit and immediately abandoning it and trying to pull one over, but Rockus was able to catch on to that pretty early, and even though he fell, Zachary and company able to come together and take care of business.
How about this? FaZe once again, after their establishment of pressure through mid, Rise are going to throw some utility to try to keep this clear, and it's a little bit expensive from both sides when it comes to information gathering abilities, at least early on.
Blocking sight.
Again, we're seeing the mid control being taken here by Rise with Shanks, but they fade off of it pretty early. We're seeing a defensive changeup as well with Baby Bay with the op this time on A side of the map, so he's varying up his locations and now his weaponry as well. They have 3 players here. They're playing that more kind of common Viper setup on B side of the map. You do see the lockdown come into play here for Rise. Seekers coming forward as well.
Baby Bay got a look, but could not connect. Neptune, first one forward, able to find Baby Bay before he can escape. Corey also revealed. And he's actually going to be detained, if I'm not mistaken. Help for Baby J was trying to get there, not going to be able to do too much with it. Neptune good for 1 more, that's his third. Rockus eventually for the trade, but the spike gets planted.
Again, that's just Rise showing you they're fully capable of playing that oppressive style as well. You know, Shanks and Neptune are no strangers to playing assertive when the situation calls for it. Good combo of lockdown and Seekers gets them the space. Big entry gets detained onto Corey. They try to reinforce him. They can't do it, so he's cleared out, and Rise just bulk up that man advantage, and now they'll get the victory in this 4-on-2. It's going to put them to 7, and that's a good strike back, right? I mean, FaZe just really won a pretty big round the previous, and now Rise swat them right back. They're not going to allow them to build any momentum off of this. They're going to stay right here neck and neck as we get into the home stretch of the second half, and so things are still very interesting. That's a big kill there to stop that out from being saved.
For a second there, I thought there was going to be a timing where the knife was going to be out and you're going to see the hindquarters of Zach for maybe an opportunity. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I think we were all at least kind of hoping for maybe a chance to see a round 1 knife here between these 2 squads. But Not the case. Good clearance here from Neptune as well. I mean, we talked about kind of FaZe, I won't say reluctantly, not really using the Sky, but obviously we saw them using the Yoru a lot through stage 3. You see exactly how both these teams are finding value and why Sky's been such a stapled conversation for just about every map so far we've had in Valorant.
Yeah, Sky just has such a great utility set to not only be supportive, but to also play off of her own and be able to go out there and still be, you know, where a secondary duelist would play. You know, can still do a lot of those same things as far as being a trade fragger and being someone who can assist that Jet on getting that space. As we do see Baby Bay daggers out on this eco, trying to get something going. They do still have the Vandal onto Raucus as well, so they have a couple of little, you know, tripwires out there, so to speak. Kind of try to make it as tough as they can on Rise, considering the situation. They do see Rise making that move over to B side, and they have deep mid control, so FaZe will be able to rotate pretty quickly to try to get over to B and get something done. But again, they are just well behind on firepower.
Yeah, Rise should be aware of this, though. This sentry turret that's been in mid actually tagged up Baby Bay initially on his aggressive play forward, so Shanks instead is just going to use the safety net of this little Trailblazer to make his way on in with the early blades. Finds one, gets the reset. One more over the top. How about one more? Neptune found the third. That was over by the connector, and FaZe defensively completely falter, left with a 2v5, and you would think maybe another situation where they'll consider a save, as Raucus does at least tally up one kill onto Shanks.
Yeah, he'll be able to hold on to that Vandal. Baby J, though, getting caught out into middle, so that will not go along. But what is happening right now is FaZe has built up 3 ults, and Raucus will have his as well. So they'll basically have all their ults aside from Corey going into this next round. And that's going to make it tough for Raz to make progress, especially since this was an eco as well from FaZe, remember. So they're going to have plenty of weapons coming into this also. So this is going to be a big test to Rise. Can you battle against a fully bought FaZe that's fully ulted out as well for the most part?
Raucus very well could find one more point of contact here before the round comes to an end. Flash will be there. Hello, Neptune. Oh, boy. For a second, it's one of those things where you find yourself hiding in plain sight and it nearly pays off. But the kill will be tallied, and Rise bring us within 2. So, I mean, you think back, and I think for a lot of North American fans outside of what we saw at Berlin, you go back towards stage 3, and we have not seen this much offensive success in the region in a long time.
Yeah. And again, FaZe have definitely shown their ability to play this map defensively very well in the past. And so there we have it. Viper's Pit available, Hunter's Fury, and a Lockdown. So a lot of ults for FaZe to put into use, particularly for retake situations, as well as that Viper to maybe have a little bit more of an easier time defensively playing something solo if they want to go that route.
Baby Bay mid. Sentry turret finds Shanks. Oh, big duel. Once again, between the Jets in the early moment.
Shot. That one threw me off.
Just in case. I mean, hey, that door does provide at least some sort of cover once you get closer to it.
I like how he didn't fall for the turret. He went and looked for the other side and found it. And that was one of the big reasons why FaZe are having so much success on their attack, is how many opening picks Baby Bay was able to acquire. Been a little bit more quiet in this half in that regard, but that's a big one to start off this round number 19.
Out of charges.
As now we see Rise looking to pivot for a big B hit here. Seekers forward.
Has to be used if you want to find any sort of entry. Neptune able to find Zach off the initial trade. Corey revealed through mid-map. And Raucus defensively, Hunter's Fury, going to find 1+ damage onto Neptune. So the defense is still finding at least some contempt here when it comes to locking down this B side. And as Raucus takes down Neptune, it's all down to Derek. He does still have 2 shock darts plus this Aldrome, but this would be a 1v3. Also, I guess it's worth mentioning, the spike is in his back pocket, and oh my goodness, Raucus, a student of geometry, showcase at the highest level there, chunks down to 70 HP, and then finishes off the kill himself, because why not? Big round, FaZe tally it, and go up back to 3 rounds in difference.
And that burnt what Alts Rise had, and guess what? Lockdown and Viper's Pit still available for FaZe. They were not required on that victory, mostly thanks to just being able to win some big long-range duels, strictly Baby Bay getting the opening pick, able to trade out more efficiently on the side itself from that moment forward. You have to feel like a lot of it has to be on the fact that while Neptune got these 2 instant duels, Raucus able to find the pick onto Poised, which kept them a man ahead, and they were able to also quickly find Neptune there on site to get it into the 3-on-1.
Quick defensive Viper's Pit plus a Trailblazer over through B. Baby Bay mid-map, able to lock down 1 as Rise were trying to change the tempo up and move quickly over towards A, largely through the middle of the map, and that has forced Baby J to pull out his lockdown. But this has been fine. The chaos that was provided by the lockdown itself has allowed FaZe defensive members to find free kills on these Rise members rotating out.
Not only that, but they were also sending Baby Bay all the way through into window room. So they had B completely cleared out. They still have Viper's Pit on the main archway. They still have A Hall's control. And they have a 2-minute advantage now as well. They've actually abandoned the pit. Baby J gets a kill on shots. I mean, they're all over the place on FaZe's side of things.
Yeah, Rise did not kind of navigate this chaos all too well. But maybe an opportunity for Poise to sneak behind. You've got Supa with the spike making his way up mid. And this clearance should at least have the information that Supa could play for Planet B unless they want to play for kills first. Looks like they're going to do the latter. Poise has been figured out. But with that, finds one nearly a lineup. But Raucus turns his attention from one to the other, finding both the last two Rise members. And now map point for Rise. Or pardon me, for FaZe.
Yeah, FaZe dominant from the start. A little bit of a comeback from Rise. But as they approach the finish line, FaZe puts up the wall. We're going to, again, just see FaZe able to create a lot of chaos in the early round, able to find opening picks. Again, it's Baby Bay striking first with that operator, just as he had done in the previous round, giving FaZe that 5-on-4 to work from. Shanks got absolutely destroyed in the A-Halls, had no way out, and that just sets FaZe up for success. They will now have 4 map points here to try to get that 1-0 edge in this series. Again, this is the opening match in the upper quarterfinals. Loser drops down to that lower bracket. And with only one spot available for Champs at the end of this thing, to get knocked down that early is almost a death sentence.
This is so tough for Rise. You've got no tools available outside of your normal utility, and you've already have Baby J defensively pushed into his stapled position, front side caves. Baby Bay watching from behind. There's the Aldrin. That'll push him back. Trying to use a Cloud Burst just to keep his baby counterpart safe, and boy has he. There's the second and the third. Oh, there is no stopping that baby square duo over towards A. Neptune has caused entry and a point of ingress over towards B. That actually allows a plant. So even though it's a 2v4, time will be on the favor of Rise.
Blipped was Neptune there. Didn't get caught though, so they're going to have a chance to maybe still fend this off.
Oh, missed shots from Corey, but trains it back in. He's seen Supa. Baby Bay, no quick scope. And this is so tough. Supa, he's just got the SMG. Trying to swap it over to an operator. Corey's already on the defuse. No HP to work with, and Rise gave it a heck of a go, but come up just a touch too short. FaZe win their map pick to the tune of a 13-8 scoreline on Breeze.
Yeah, it's a situation where they just had such a